fuck is this asshole?
What, you never seen me before?
Yeah, oh wow, we're already losing light. Alright, let's just do that. Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here, and welcome to a brand new opening night. I'm here, of course, with Studio 95, Bradley Dunn.
Yo, what's up?
They can't even see you. Oh, there you are.
You're so tiny in comparison.
And I'm here with Evin Matthews, who you guys might have seen on some of our productions. He was Captain Roth in the Massive Overview. He's played a couple stand-ins, and he's also Bob in our Kong remake.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, we're just, Jesus Christ, the light is terrible. Let me just try to... There we go.
All right?
Alright, yeah.
Alright, cool.
So, we finally saw a new movie. It's been a while since I've done one of these. We just got out of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And, where to start? I guess we'll just talk about our opinions on all the other Spider-Man movies beforehand.
Yeah, sure.
I love the first two Raimi movies. I love the first two Raimi movies. They're solid films. J.K. Simmons is the best thing in those fucking movies. Tobey Maguire's a little bitch. I'm sorry. He's kind of a bitch. But they're great. You know, like, those are the definitive Spider-Man movies for me. You guys on the first two.
The Sam Raimi movies for me. I like all three of them, really. Like, I didn't have a problem with the third one, even though I know it was bad. But yeah, it really captures, like, the corniness of, like, what comic book movies can be. And it was, like, the first time you ever got to see Spider-Man since the early 2000s.
Yeah, like, because when I was growing up, first my introduction to Spider-Man was, like, the 90s animated series, which had probably the best Venom arc in, like, all of those.
Ah, the Venom Saga.
The Venom Saga was great. Spider-Man 3, I kind of like, even though I feel like it was rushed, had a lot of studio interference. And then, Brad, your Sam Raimi trilogy.
First one I love, second one I love, third one I think is kind of shit.
Okay.
It's
like, everyone like shits on Tobey Maguire. Like, he does fine. He's not
I don't hate Tobey.
He's good for the memes. Like,
Yeah.
I love the memes around him.
I love the one that's just the one that's like the one that's like this. Yeah, we'll get to the memes in a sec. Okay, so amazing.
Final word. Kristen Dunn can't act for shit in those movies.
Ooh.
Like, she's pretty on the eyes, she can't act for shit.
Yeah, she's not a good actress.
She's got a good rack. At least in the first one.
Yes.
Yeah. This Amazing Spider-Man. I liked, and I think it's probably the most realistic Spider-Man. I do like that's probably one of my favorite costumes in the series. I do like the first Amazing Spider-Man because I do like the idea of, like, sunglasses as the eyes. It gives a real realistic, it's like, here kids, here's cosplayers, here's how to make a Spider-Man suit. And you know what's funny? Every Spider-Man movie has pretty much been to show off, here's how you can make a Spider-Man cosplay. So I like the first one. Second one's a piece of shit. That is one of the worst Spider-Mans that I've ever said. I actually came up with the song, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, worse than Batman and Robin. Yeah, I actually will say Amazing Spider-Man 2 is worse than Batman and Robin.
Never even seen the second one, only saw the first
Dude,
one.
Joel Schumacher literally looked like he came on the set and said, I'm making Spider-Man now. I didn't care for it. And it also pisses me off because they didn't do Spider-Man 4 and 5, because that was the original plan, was to do Spider-Man 4, and then Spider-Man 5 was going to have Carnage.
Well, that's because Spider-Man 3 did so poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was a hit, but it just did more critically. It did, like, a critical, like, bashing. So, for me, it's like, and then, obviously Disney got Spider-Man back, and we got him in Civil War, which I haven't seen yet, so I'll let you run the floor.
Okay, so regarding the web series of The Amazing Spider-Man, I only liked some elements, like, in the movie. I liked a lot of the way Spider-Man, like, fought his opponents in the first one. Like, I think my favorite fight scene is the school scene where the lizard comes out of the bathroom. He's looking for Peter Parker, and then they're fighting. And I like the choreography in that.
And it's just Stan Lee, just like.
Yeah, the best one of the best Stan Lee cameos ever. But I also like the chemistry between Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone as Peter and Gwen Stacy.
She was a good Gwen.
That felt like genuine.
Yeah, actually, did you? I don't know if you would know this, but Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man 3 was played by Bryce Dallas Howard, who was Claire in Jurassic World.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought I recognized that.
Yeah. Well, she's a lot more thick in that one.
Yes.
So then Disney got him. So Civil War, I haven't seen that yet. I'm really far behind on the MCU.
So okay, so
Tom.
fuck. There's too many Toms.
Tom
Okay, so
Hiddleston.
Tobey
Tom
Maguire.
Felton.
So Tobey Maguire brings like the geekiness of like Peter, but lacks like the realistic like anyone can be like Spider-Man. Like anyone could have gotten bit like radioactive spider
Yeah.
and have these powers and understand what it takes to be a hero. And then like you have the youthful Andrew Garfield, but it's like he lacks that geekiness. Like
He's also because he's 30 in those movies.
yeah.
Yeah, it did not.
Where with Tom Holland, it's like a good combination of both, but with better elements. Like,
My only complaint is that from what I've seen, he comes off with a lot of pop cultural references, where it's almost like Deadpool, like a young Deadpool.
well, Spider-Man was memey and pop culture-ish right before like people understood like Deadpool does his shtick.
Yeah. So I didn't see Civil War, and I haven't seen Homecoming, and I haven't seen Venom. So those I'm kind of far behind. But this one, I really went in expecting nothing. Absolutely nothing. Even the trailers didn't sell me. I was just like, I don't even know why they were doing an anime, because I gotta pump that spider milk.
Was unfamiliar with like the Miles Morales storyline or the Spider-Gwen. Like I seen like so many designs of her, but not familiar with what happened this and like the other. So when I saw this, like it looked interesting enough to go see, but I was walking in blind.
Yeah, I'm walking in blind.
We were all walking in blind, but what caught my attention was the fact it was getting because this movie's getting really good critical praise, and
good reason.
rightfully so. This movie was a party and a half.
It was
Damn right it was.
much fun just watching.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was like a ride almost. Like it reminded me a lot of like I'm just adjusting the camera here.
Am I still in frame?
You're still in frame. You're just really dark.
Yeah, just get the light. There he is.
There you
Oh.
Light has given on to our Bradley dog.
So, yeah, this movie was a ride. It reminded me a lot of the Spider-Man ride at Universal's Islands of Adventure, and it was just so much fun. The visuals are stunning. Like, this is by the guys who did the Lego movie.
That
So
makes
you
sense.
know you're getting good visuals, and you can tell even with the stop motion. They like to play with that CG stop motion kind of look to it.
Yeah, it's there, but I think the main factor away from this film is that it looks like a comic book that came to life.
Yes, like
Yeah,
even
that's
to the point of
exactly
like the paper. You know how like comics have like,
Yeah, like
kind of
the
like
subtle
little
shading
dots?
where it has like the little dots in front of
Yeah.
shading is like
Yeah, it felt like a comic
It's
book.
basically an animated comic.
Yeah, and it was fantastic. But the movie's got a rockin' soundtrack. Like this is one of those things. Like it felt like a party. It felt like a nightclub movie.
yeah, the soundtrack, like the choices of songs they got for like a lot of them really hit the mark. Like you felt like this matches the scene I'm looking for.
Yep.
I love that consistency in films where like the soundtrack amplifies the tone that they're telling with the scene.
Completely agree.
Yeah, so for those who may not know the plot, it's basically a big fucking fan fiction movie. But it is technically based on some of the comic material. I don't read that. I haven't really read any Spider-Man comics, to be honest. But like, I know about Peter Parker. I know about all his stuff and all that shit and Oscorp and everything. I didn't know anything going in about Miles Morales.
I didn't know anything
Right?
about him either.
And I was actually like, hey, this is an interesting interpretation of Spider-Man. I really like Miles. Like
Yeah,
he's
Miles is very likable.
yeah, great kid. I even like Spider-Gwen. I'm like, there's
Spider-Man was kind of
a
cool.
lot of people said they just want to see solo movies with just these characters. And honestly, like that would be like Sony, fuck your Venom franchise. Fuck just like
Hold on. Well, we'll get to that, but hold on.
But fuck your Venom franchise. Fuck trying to make your own Spider. Make this your Spider-Man franchise. Make it animated, because at least then. And that's another thing. This is the first Sony animated movie that is actually amazing. You
Yeah.
know, like pun intended, but this Spider-Man movie is amazing. You know,
Yeah.
It's a blend. This is definitely probably one of my favorites in the series, like up there with 1 and 2. It's got great action sequence. The 3D is phenomenal. Go see
I
this in
love the
3D.
fucking 3D.
This is I kind of been all.
Very, like, I don't really like 3D much for movies, but this movie was worth seeing in 3D.
It's worth seeing in there.
Yeah,
Daily.
even D-Box. Like, go see it in D-Box. It's
Oh,
probably
my
like a
goodness,
fucking
yeah.
ride. But there's just so much to like in this. And I also love, this is what I love the most, is that what I love about these two directors is, one, they were supposed to do the Han Solo movie, which now I want to see what the fuck they were planning, because they apparently reshot like 90% of that movie.
Really?
Yeah, so there's a whole cut that they did.
Release it, Disney!
Yeah, well, they're not.
Fucking release it!
You gotta release that in the Unaltered Trilogy. We're looking at you,
Yes,
Disney.
Do it.
Do it, you fuckers.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
So, yeah, there's so much to like about this. So, like, I loved all that. Also, but the other thing I love, the comedy. We were howling.
Oh my God.
I had not seen a movie that funny since Jumanji. Yeah.
Spider-Man gets hit with so much shit in this. Like, holy fuck.
It's like, hi, I'm Peter Parker. Welcome to Jackass. Like, you could actually just add the Jackass music in there. That'd be fucking amazing. But yeah, like, all the Spider-Man are great. Probably my favorite, one of my favorites, Nicolas Cage as 1930s Watchman Spider-Man.
Yeah. That was Nicolas Cage?
That's Nicolas Cage.
I had no fucking idea.
Yeah, that was Nicolas Cage. Oh, shit.
Lights.
Yeah, well, that was Nicolas Cage, and it's funny because he's now played 3 superheroes. He played Superman. Yep. Well, he was supposed to be Superman in Superman Lives by Tim Burton, but then he played Superman in the Teen Titans movie.
Yeah.
He technically did play a Batman in Kick-Ass. I like to think it's Batman. I don't care. And now he's playing Spider-Man. It's like, what other if he ends up playing
You're forgetting his actual major role.
Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider.
There you go.
Yeah, so Nick Cage is fucking great in this. I love the idea that he's like, he comes from a black and white world, so when he sees a Rubik's Cube, he's just like, shit. Which, by the way, guys, okay, I don't advocate doing drugs and stuff, but if you're a stoner, you will fucking love this movie.
Take a bunch of shrooms.
Dude, you will love this movie. Like, you gotta get some, we're here in Canada, it's legal, but get some weed before you go in and go IMAX 3D in D-Box. You will be, like, on the trippiest fucking shit. Although, to be fair, my only complaint with the movie, especially if it's meant for a worldwide audience, is that there's a lot of flashing lights and stuff, which, when even in the opening credits do that, and I was thinking, like, you know, for people who have epileptic seizures, it's like, wow, we're like only a few seconds in and we have a problem.
When it goes through like
put a warning or something at the start of the movie.
Yeah, when it goes through the effects, it's like they should probably put like warning. There's a lot of flashing lights, different color lights. Matter of fact, so it has to be careful.
Yeah, like what was a movie that did that? Like they didn't put a warning and then people got seizures and then like they had to recall the movie and put a warning before it.
I don't remember.
There was some
they kind of had to do that with a Pokemon episode.
Yeah,
probably
it literally sent like 500-600 people to the hospital.
Oh God.
Yeah, and then it was never released ever again.
Jesus Christ. Well, you could probably torrent it or something.
In fact, the Pokemon they used in it, Porygon, has never been in an episode because of that.
Well, we'll save that for Detective Pikachu when that comes out. You guys will be able to talk the Poke shit out of it.
Oh no, you're dragging me into Detective Pikachu? Oh fuck, I'm gonna be terrified.
No, that looks good. Okay, well, to the point.
Fucking weird.
So,
Mr. Mime is the creepiest thing I've ever seen. Fight me on that.
Creepy.
yeah, I wish we actually got that trailer with this fucking movie because our trailers were shit.
Yeah,
they were pretty shitty.
Yeah,
trailers,
the trailers that we saw were like films in January because movies in January are yeah.
The only one I actually thought was first I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Was the King Arthur movie? Like no, it is. It's a remake of a kid in King Arthur's court, but it's mixed with Harry Potter and shit.
It's called the Kid Who Would Be King, I believe.
Yeah,
something like that.
It looks good, but the thing is like they're aiming for that Potter crowd because even like the text in the trailer, like the text is that Potter font, so they're trying to get the Potter puppet pal people in there. Potheads. I don't know. That's what I call them, Potterheads. But yeah, so the trailers are kind of but the movie was fucking amazing. Like. Yeah. I don't want to give anything away because there's a lot of great moments in this movie.
So, as someone who has never done like these open nights with you, you don't give them spoilers entirely, do you?
We kind of do. We do say like if we do spoilers.
We sometimes give massive amounts of spoilers.
Okay.
It depends on the movie. Like Star Wars, we fucking just give out everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, at the same time, it's like, I mean, if we were going to spoil something, something like this, if we are going to spoil it, we wouldn't like talk about the plot essentially because that would take forever because it's so complicated. Because
there's certain details that I do want to talk about. I will say spoilers.
Okay. Spoilers.
Spoilers. Cover my face.
Skip ahead.
Censor bar. It's like a hentai vagina. It's just censored.
Oh my God.
Hi.
You need to come on these more often.
Yes, you do.
Oh, dude, these will be amazing. I think we have a new recruit. All right.
Yeah, I'm in more shit.
Yeah. So, what?
Anyways, okay. So. Well, you said you also wanted to talk about Venom because you didn't see that, right?
I didn't see Venom.
Okay, so Too Long Didn't Read. It's a fun movie. Like, if you like Tom Hardy and you like his antics, you will enjoy just seeing him. plot is kind of shit, but at the same time, there's a stinger. Spoilers if you haven't seen the movie, but it's coming. It's coming Blu-ray. You probably know.
Yeah.
It's basically a setup for like the next movie, which has been confirmed because even though it's been panned critically, it has made over like $800 million. Like it is financially successful.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's definitely getting a sequel in 2020.
Yeah, they're set up for a sequel.
I know most of what they're doing. They're doing Woody Harrelson as Carnage and everything.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's like, my only complaint, I don't want to see them, because like, there was rumors for so long that Tom Holland was on set for the movie to do a cameo as Peter Parker.
They're kind of teasing at that again, but at the same time, you don't really trust them because you know Marvel's not really going to let Tom Holland, their Spider-Man, kind of join with Sony.
Well, it'd be interesting if they brought Venom into.
I mean, it would. It's
Spider-Man.
something they want to see these two interact, but at the same time, it's still iffy and if they will, because there's like 3 movies in this growing saga already. So
Yeah. So well, I guess fuck it. We'll talk about Spider-Man. I mean, because one thing I will say. This is made for people who love Spider-Man memes.
you love Spider-Man, you will love this movie.
No, if you like Spider-Man memes, you'll love this
that too.
The movie opens with Peter Parker doing the dance from Spider-Man 3. Did not see it come out. She's like, oh, this movie's self-aware.
Yep.
It reminded me a lot of like the Lego Batman movie, because I don't know if you guys like, because there's that bit where it's like,
saw that, no.
where Batman's like Alfred talks about all the incarnations, so it's like, I remember you from 2012, 2008, 2005, 1997, 1995, an animated series, so they go through like the whole thing, but it's in Lego form. The only thing they don't do is, with the Batman and Robin, they show just the bat nipple showing 1997,
Really?
and then when they go to 1966, they just show Adam West dancing.
Nice.
But yeah, so like this, it's kind of, again, it's the same people, so it has that self-aware humor, which is great. But there's so many great moments. The Porky Spider Pig. I know he's called Spider-Ham. Fuck it, it's Spider-Kid, Spider-Pig. The Simpsons movie already made that thing. That's in that, and it's basically Porky Pig as a Spider-Man. And
Basically that.
there's the end fight is amazing, and it's like.
Not just the end fight, a lot of the fights in this
Dude, the
movie.
fights are great. Like, the first scene with Spider-Man fighting the Green Goblin, and you're just like, oh, shit, Osborn's on some fucking steroids.
I think that's because in universe, like, there's, like, different variations of the Goblin. So, like, in, like, the actual Spider-Man universe, he's just a guy that's on a glider that's throwing bombs. In, like, the Miles Morales universe, he's a mutant that's just a gigantic goblin monster.
I would have preferred, I like the glider Goblin. That was my generation's Goblin. Here's the thing, though, like, especially if they do more Spider-Man movies, live action especially, can we get the Hobgoblin at some point? Because I think Green Goblin has been done to death.
Yeah.
I think maybe if they do more Spider-Man movies than they do the ones with Tom Holland, don't do Green Goblin, do Hobgoblin.
I don't know. From what I hear from, like, the universe that Tom Holland is in, they're trying to set up that for, like, the 3rd movie, I think, Scorpion's going to be his nemesis.
What was
like, after Mysterio and, like, the second film that comes out next year, they're going to set up for that, maybe the person that plays Scorpion escapes, and now Tom Holland has to fight Scorpion.
Which, by the way, Scorpion in this movie is fucking amazing. He's like a transformer.
Are we gonna go into spoilers? I don't think anyone knows who, like, the villain is.
Well,
the one that surprised us the most being in this.
Yeah, Kingpin.
We know who he is.
Well, the design is just... the only thing that kind of threw me off was
He's
the design.
fucking thick.
Jesus!
He is a big
He literally came off a fucking DeviantArt page. He came off a DeviantArt page with a big fucking balloon. Holy shit! Somebody at Sony was looking at DeviantArt.
He is a big boy.
Yeah, he is a big boy. Bigger than Brad.
Wow.
Hey, cut some slack. He's getting weight.
True,
I
yeah,
lost
he's
36 pounds, people.
See, if he can do it, you can do it. Don't do drugs. A message from the government of Canada.
A message from the government of Canada.
So, oh fuck. So for me, it's like, he's great, but like what I love about Scorpion in this, he's fucking Scorponok from fucking Transformers. He starts as a person, then he mutates his legs. It's like, oh, that. The movie is so creative. That's one of the things
really
I love.
is.
It's so creative. So much creativity in the way designs are done, the scope and everything. Oh, another thing, cosplayers. This is a movie for you. Like, I'm starting to notice that with franchises where they make these costumes and designs specifically to target cosplayers to say, here's an ad for you. You can make this now and promote our shit by making this cosplay. You ever notice that with franchises? That they come up with new costumes just deliberately to get cosplayers in? So this is definitely a big. I guarantee the next few Comic Cons, I'm going to see a lot of the Spider-Verse cosplayers going around. Spider-Gwen, Nicolas Cage, Spider-Man. Those are the two I'm going to expect the most.
I'm sure someone is also going to do like this weird cardboard box with the what is it, Penny Parker?
Penny Parker.
Penny Parker.
Oh yeah, the anime Spider-Man. Okay, that was cool.
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
I always love whenever anime's on the big screen, whether reference or a film. Which, okay,
So people think it's gonna be offensive because like it's an anime version of Spider. And don't worry, she's actually a really really round out character. Like there's no over the top references like
she's not wearing her panties, even though like it's stupid. She's a little girl who gets.
They would never do that.
I know. Well, it's Japan. Yeah, they're kind of fucked up.
Okay, they're taking a source in the United States from Japan.
Yeah.
They would never do.
She reminded me a lot of something out of a Miyazaki movie, actually. That spider, like something like Chihiro, like some that kind of like little, like Spider Girl thing. But that was cool. Like the fact she has a mech. It's a mech. That's the
mech.
spider suit.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
it's like, oh shit, like Spider,
like that.
Spider Gundam.
Spider Gundam.
Although funny enough, speaking of tech. Spider-Man has the Batcave, apparently.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
that was
Like,
kinda weird,
like,
but I liked
okay,
it.
so picture, so like in the Morales, apparently this Spider-Man is kind of like Batman, that he has his own secret lair in the backyard of Aunt May's house. Aunt May is kind of like Alfred.
Yeah, and it's funny too, because like I like to think that this takes place. This is the Sam Raimi Spider-Man universe in some respect.
Think about it. It's also a good connection between Spider-Man and Batman because they're very similar. They're the most well-known hero. They're one of the most popular heroes in their franchise. They have the most well-known rogue gallery out of all of them. So it would make sense for it to so that they even amped up the similarity.
Yeah, and it's also the fact that like if you notice, there's a lot of Easter eggs in the Spider Cave. There's
also a lot of references with the number 42.
I don't understand that reference though.
I need to look that up.
Yeah, well, it's interesting too because like you look at the spider suits, it's like Batman with all his costumes, but you notice things like you'll see the suit from the PS4 game, you'll see the suit, the Iron Spider from the MCU, you'll see those in the background.
Yeah.
I noticed those two off the bat. Even like they had the spider car, right? Now, funny enough,
It wasn't a car, it was a Doom buggy.
no, but it's funny because I remember when I was a wee kid and McDonald's had these. McDonald's had these happy...
I was ye high, my boys.
Yeah, whatever. So, I remember McDonald's had this Happy Meal promotion with Marvel, and it was during the Spider-Man animated series, and they had Spider-Man in this little buggy. They had Spider-Man in this little buggy, and you like press the button and his web shoot out of the thing.
I kind of remember that commercial, yeah.
Yeah, you remember that car?
Yeah.
That car looked exactly like the Happy Meal toy. I was like, if that was meant to be a nod to that, somebody's like really detailed. But yeah, there was so much in this, Easter eggs and shit like that. I'm trying to think what else there is in here. Like,
The sport, like the reveal, like the secret villain.
okay, there's a couple of those. There's a couple of those. Well, we won't give away the main one. I want to at least leave some things open. But the one that actually had me, I did not see coming. The Miss Frizzle's Dr. Octopus.
Octavius.
Yeah, and you don't see that coming.
It was either Octavia or Olivia.
Yeah, because like I remember like
Octavia, I believe, or something like that.
yeah, because at first I'm like, who's this Miss Frizzle motherfucker? Like, what's she all about? Like,
And then you hear Octavius.
And you're just like...
And then you see, like, the suit pop out and just like, oh
shit! And that was nice. Just like, it's like, oh wait, Doctor... And then somebody was like, Dr. Octopus has a vagina, we're fucked! But no, that was great. Oh, that was fantastic. There was also just like, so many great things in this movie, and I can't really think of anything else. Like, we pretty much covered everything.
well, not everything. We haven't covered, like, what actually happens in the story, and I don't think we're going to.
We're not going to do that. We want you guys, because the story's pretty solid.
I will spoil a little bit of this about the Kingpin, though. I love the scene where he's just frustrated and, like, he's clicking on the pen, and then it flashes back to, like, reveal why he's out to get Spider-Man, why he's doing
that I really
the
liked.
multiverse thing.
Yeah, because for me, it's
to
like...
see why.
Yeah, because, like, for me, it was like... I always thought the Kingpin is like the Rupert Thorne of the Marvel movies. He's just a gangster guy, does shit, shady shit. But they gave him a lot of character
Well, that's
development in
because
this.
he's also shared as the main villain for Daredevil, and there's a lot more to his backstory than just, oh, he's just a top gangster who's ridiculously strong.
Would have been cool if Daredevil or Deadpool showed up in this just for the fuck of it.
The Prowler almost looked like Deadpool.
He kind of did.
Like a mix of Deadpool and Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like comic book form. And you have your there was Stan Lee cameos and
yeah.
tributes. That felt like that was
way-
a lot of 11th, like especially the tribute at the end. That was thrown in at the last minute.
Nah, well,
Before
they
those-
had to.
Well, this
Yeah,
just
it had
came
to.
out, so yeah.
Yeah, but the way he talked, it's like, fuck.
Oh,
that
it
hurt.
hits you.
It hurt.
It's gonna hit you for the next few Marvel movies.
Oh.
Yeah, well, his family's probably gonna get a good paycheck for all that shit, so that's a plus. Okay, the one thing I will spoil is the post-credit scene. I really want to talk about this.
Don't worry, it doesn't lead up to anything.
It doesn't lead up to. They're not. That's what I also love. They don't sequel bait this shit. They don't set it up for future movies, right?
No.
They don't.
Right.
It's its own contained story. But who's the Spider-Man in that? Like at the input.
I believe they said like Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, right?
Yeah.
And he goes into the Spider-Man 60s cartoon, and let's just do it all together. They literally do the meme where they're like, they do that. We were just like,
We were like dying.
this movie had us. I haven't laughed this hard since Jumanji because there's only a few movies I go see, but like I don't expect movies to be this funny.
I know.
I thought comedy died years ago when Adam Sandler shit out Pixels.
Oh god.
You
It
know?
died longer when he shit out Jack and Jill, actually.
Yeah, actually, that's the thing. Like, everybody says Hotel Transylvania is a good movie. Like, I like the first one, but the other ones I haven't seen. But this is hands down Sony Animation's best movie.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best animated films of the best animated film of the year.
I beg to differ. I've seen a lot of other animes, but for like Oscar really, yeah, I would say
This would win.
This would probably
This is
win.
Sony's chance, I would say. Now, did you see Incredibles 2?
I have seen Incredibles.
Compared to Incredibles, which one's better?
No, this is by far better.
They're way better, yeah.
It's better. Like, okay, Incredibles 2 is a good movie. Like, it's good to see, but at the same time, it's too familiar with, like, the original. Like, it stays a little too close to the original. Same plot, same kind of setting, same type of villain. It's just that the characters are older, and it's swapped. Like, you know, in Mr. Incredibles being the one that goes to, like, the secret energy that can do hero stuff. In the way it's reversed that has,
It's Mr. Mom, but with Mr. Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, you know, let's be honest, for the adult people going to see Incredibles 2, it's because Mrs. Incredible's thick as fuck.
Are you kidding me? Of course.
Oh, we're going there now! Jesus
Oh,
Christ!
my
Okay, let's keep it PG.
That's the thing. They made her thicker.
Oh my god! Watch,
She is thicker than she originally was in the first movie.
watch, the third movie, they're gonna make her a DeviantArt fan art. They're gonna make her fucking
God.
that thick.
Oh
See,
my God.
there's thick, and then there's DeviantArt thick.
No. There's thick, there's extra thick. And then there's DeviantArt thick.
Oh my god.
Fuck.
But yeah, guys, final thought, I fucking love this.
I love this movie.
This is, like, although I am very hold on, like, loving the first two Raimi films as my favorites, this is probably, like, third best for me. I wouldn't say this is, like, this is one of the best ones, but I would say I still like the first two Raimis over this one. And I do like the idea of the multiverse, because, you know, guys, we've had, that's what they're doing now. We've had crossovers. Avengers broke the crossover genre that got that into the pop culture. Now we're entering the multiverse. Because, like, we had Ready Player One, we had Infinity War. I like to consider that a multiverse movie.
Really, it's mostly like just bringing out all what that's currently on into one place. Like, I'm pretty sure when we get to like Endgame, it'll probably cross into a bit of the multiverse because it's about time traveling, right?
Yeah, it's about time traveling. Like I want fucking Deadpool to show up and shit. But yeah, there's that. There's and now we got this movie, and it's on top of that. It's like even like DC on TV's doing that. They're gonna be doing the adaptation of Crisis on Infinite Earths, which I'm like, why isn't Warner Brothers doing that as the movie? See, that was the only way I could see them passing Marvel is doing the multiverse. So doing like Crisis on Infinite Earth. You could have Henry Cavill's Superman. Or like Christopher Reeve's Superman, you could CGI it like they did in Rogue One.
No.
He doesn't say anything, but you have him at least pass the torch to Henry Cavill.
No. Like, no. There's a reason why CGIing faces is becoming meme tip because it just looks like
God.
lights you. It was not your turn. But CGIing faces, especially to recreate like older people from the past into the present, it just doesn't work out. They did it with Carrie Fisher, bless her soul, and even with trying to cover Henry Cavill? Yeah, Henry Cavill.
The mustache and
Justice the whole
League.
thing. It just looked very weird, so I would not do that.
It's just, you wouldn't show it being Christopher Reeve, but you would just kind of imply it, maybe with just the music, maybe have him silhouetted. Just something like that, just to give people, because that's the Superman we like.
Possibly.
This new Superman's just kind of too dark. I said this before, it's too dark, it's too, Superman's meant to be for the kids.
Apparently he's hilarious in, Justice League.
Oh, yeah, there's some good moments. I actually watched Justice League finally. I liked it, actually. What I do like, too, is they used the music cues from the previous films. They used John Williams' Superman. When Batman's doing his thing, they played the Tim Burton theme. They actually did that. They actually brought back Danny Elfman. Danny Elfman did the score, so he's like, fuck it, I'll just use the Batman theme. And you know what? It makes me now want, if Ben Affleck's attached to Matt Reeves' The Batman, we can have that score back. I'm like, yes!
I don't know. I think at this point, Ben Affleck is just done with this shit because how much meddling DC's been doing.
I think as a whole, DC's actually throwing in the towel. They've really, because I think what they're starting to realize, we're spending so much money on this shit and we're not making anything. People are hating us. So it's like, Marvel, you win. You win. There you go. You have the movies, we'll have at least television. That actually would make sense, because think about it, Marvel's canceling all their TV shows.
And they're doing their own universe and the TV shows of The Flash, Supergirl, Arrow.
Apparently that's doing better than the movies. So it's like, you know what? In that sense, that's a fair compromise. Marvel can have the screen, DC can have television.
In a better sense, Marvel wins with cinema, and then DC does better with the television, because Marvel's getting a lot of their TV shows canceled.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah, because I think
they canceled Daredevil. What the actual fuck?
Well, the reason they're doing that is because Disney is taking all their properties out of Netflix to start their own streaming service.
Oh my god, Disney's gonna own everything at this point.
Dude, they're gonna run the world.
It's going
Watch, it turns out Donald Trump was the mastermind the whole time he ran Disney. No, that's the only way we can actually beat Trump. Disney has to buy him out. Disney, buy Trump. You can get him out of office and put somebody better. I don't care if it's fucking Mickey. I don't care if it's fucking Mickey or the fucking dead corpse of Walt Disney frozen in your fucking office. Put him as president.
Fuck, I'm dying. Oh, that hurts. That hurts.
Disney, you can afford it. You can afford to buy the fucking country. Just buy out Trump and get him out of there.
Good God.
Oh my God, you go way too deep in this.
I know. I go deep on everything. That came out wrong. Okay.
Not deep enough, apparently.
Final thoughts. I loved it. It was fantastic. A solid 10 out of 10 for me. 9
out of 10.
I'm gonna say 9 out of 10.
I'm a little I think the pacing is a little too fast, but at the same time, it's kind of just a nitpick at that point because it's fast action and I really enjoy it. Soundtrack's on point. You don't really dislike anybody in this.
No.
Animation is really flowing. I have little to no complaints. This is a really good animated movie and one of the best Spider-Man films, media thing you're gonna get out of this. So yeah, it's a 9 out of 10.
What would you compare it to Homecoming?
Homecoming? Well, that's the thing. I've only seen a bit of Homecoming. I haven't seen the full bit. So Homecoming's sort of the start of their own. It's the start of their own story with Spider-Man because it takes a lot of differences. Because for one, it's not starting Uncle Ben has to die, and it's not starting from the beginning. It's just starting with Peter just understanding where he fits into this whole universe.
Yeah, it's
so. In a way, since this is a much more established, because there's a ton of universes in Into the Spider-Verse, it would probably be a lot better than for Homecoming.
Yeah,
it's a good movie. I'm not trying to Homecoming is a really good movie. It's a great Spider-Man movie. It holds currently the best live-action Spider-Man that I've seen.
The thing is, Homecoming for me, is just very quickly before we get to Brad, is that it feels more like the adventures of Iron Man with Spider-Man the Boy Wonder.
That's another complaint, that it focuses a little too much on Tony Stark.
Yeah, so it's Spider-Man's Robin. He's the sidekick. Bradley, Into the Spider-Verse.
Fucking amazing. Oh, am I not in frame?
Yeah, you're not in frame.
Oh. Fucking amazing.
There you go.
That it?
Well, you guys pretty much said everything that I would say at this point. I don't know what else to say, what else to add.
Now, can you imagine if, like, these guys could do a Nintendo movie of some kind? And, like, well,
I think at this point, video games movies are just destined to die.
No, I thought Rampage was actually one of the better ones.
I haven't seen Rampage.
Rampage is great.
Is it based off a video game?
It's based on the arcade game.
It's an arcade game called Rampage.
I have the NES game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, like, think about those guys doing, like, a fucking Mario movie. That would be good if they... Because the Mario movie's being done by Illumination.
Yeah.
Oh, no!
Yeah. Well, hey...
Why?
What do you think would be worse, that or the live-action Mario Brothers movie?
Anything done by Illumination dies.
See, why can't the directors of this do the Mario movie? They would be good at that.
They would know. There would be so many pop cultures and memes from Mario to put into this.
Yeah, like, if get fucking Bowser in that shit.
Oh, God.
Okay, if Bowser is not in the Illumination Mario movie, I'm like, fuck. I hate Illumination already. Fuck those guys, but at the same time,
They
it's like...
would not.
No,
Dude,
I
if
don't
they
think
did,
they'd
I'd
do
be...
it.
Watch, they're gonna make her some sassy, like, fat lady. That's gonna be like... You ruined what was great.
You ruined the tits. The tip.
They look like grandma tits! The role of Bowser will be played by Betty Davis. Betty White.
Oh, no.
God, no.
Oh, God.
I'm intrigued yet terrified yet somewhat like I know it's gonna fail, but I'm down to go see like the Sonic the Hedgehog live action because I want that to fail so spectacular.
I saw the poster and somebody did a version of the Show Me the Way. I'm like, that would be a better movie. I would watch that whole. If it's just him going, I will show you the way.
I will show you the way.
I'll show you the way.
I show you the way of the Ugandan people.
No, what's that character's name?
It's Ugandan Knuckles.
Ugandan Knuckles in the next Black Panther. Come, Black Panther. I will show you the way to the gauntlet.
I will show you the way to the gauntlet held by our queen. The queen! We must find the queen. Find the way, my brothers.
Actually, fun thing, I wanted to point this out before we go. There's another lightsaber battle thing happening in Toronto next year.
Nice.
One thing I want to do is actually get, like, the Jedi, like we did before, Jedi on one side, Sith on the others, but the Jedis are like, all women are queens! And then the other side also says, like,
If she breathes, she's a thought!
Can you imagine doing that? That'd be amazing. That is gonna be my goal at the next lightsaber battle. I'm gonna just do that. Like, get them all shouted at once.
Oh, I want to be part of that.
Okay, so that's it for this opening night, guys. Sorry to go off topic, but it's a great movie. Go see it.
Great.
Go see it.
IMAX
Do not
3D,
regret it.
regular 3D,
Better
fucking
see it.
fucking D-Box, for God's sakes. Go on the fucking simulator ride.
All right.
Yeah, go see it. If you don't see it, you can suck this D-Box. Even though you couldn't see my arm.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah, you guys are definitely coming back to more of these because I need more of you for this shit. But yeah, guys, of course we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? And what's your favorite Spider-Man movie? Let us know in the comment section below. So until the next video, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off. Evin Matthews signing off. Studio 95 signing off. Evan,
Subscribe to my channel.
Evan, you need a YouTube channel.
I don't think I'd be good as a personality.
Oh, you'd be good. You're fucking hilarious. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
We'll
so,
see.
take care, guys.
Later. That's your dick, by the way.